and welcome to this video. I'm here to tell you all about how you should be getting yourself set up on Facebook Business Manager. So whether you are a small business, a startup, a coach, no matter who you are, every brand is treated equally when it comes to getting set up on Facebook Business Manager. And in this video, I'm going to be talking you through some things to think about before you go ahead and get yourself set up. So let's get started. Hi and welcome back. If you are a subscriber of this channel, nice to see you again. And if you're not, please go ahead and subscribe to receive my social media updates. Every week I'll be creating a new social media video to help empower you to get the most out of your social media activity. My name's Abby Punj and I'm a social media consultant. So welcome to this channel. Okay, so you have a Facebook page and you're going to get yourself ready on Business Manager. So one of the first things that you've got to think about is how you're going to be structuring your page. So structure. And what I mean by that is thinking about how you're going to be laying your house out. So say for example you have a brand which has got several different brands underneath it. You've got to keep that in mind when you get set up on Business Manager, but also if you're a brand that has different markets, you might want to set up your Facebook account in those various different markets, or you might want to wait until you get to the ad account level to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to quickly show you what this would look like. So if you think about the Business Manager kind of being like the top of your house or the roof of your house, and then within this you have got pages, i.e. your Facebook page, and your ad account. So you could have more than one page and you can also have several ad accounts. Now in Facebook Business Manager, this is where you will make certain people an admin of your page. If you're going to be doing advertising, then this is the best way to set it up. Now within your Business Manager, you also have your admin settings. And this is where you will go ahead and set yourself up as an admin, or you can invite people to be an admin. There are loads of different levels of admin rights. So you could be an admin which has the all singing and dancing access. You could be an analyst. You could even just be an employee on there and have basic level access to your channels. But whoever owns the Business Manager account can have, will basically have access and control to add people to that account. Now, another thing for you to think about when it comes to your Business Manager account is have a think about who's actually going to be holding that account. It shouldn't be managed by an external person. So what I mean by that is, for example, I work with a client who had a Business Manager account set up by a freelancer that they worked with previously, and that freelancer had moved on. So that page, when you went into the, go into the Facebook page, go into the admin settings, it said the page was owned by a business. So that meant if we wanted to do any of the activities, although we were admins and we wanted to create an ad account, for example, you won't be able to do that. It becomes really clunky and stressful for various parties to be able to get that sorted. So avoid any of that drama and just make sure whoever creates the Business Manager account, that should be owned by the business. So it should be your client that holds that account, or if you're a SME or a coach, you should be owning that account. And then if anyone wants to be have access to the account to manage your social media channels or whatever it might be, then you give them admin access. And also when you give access, there are two default settings. One is to be just an admin, which obviously means that you get access to everything, and the other one is employee. I think by default it can be set to employee. So that means if anyone's in Business Manager and they go ahead and invite you to the page, you will only have employee access rights. So whoever manages the Business Manager, make sure they give you the right access. So if you are going to be looking after all elements of the account, you must be set as an admin. Now, touching on Instagram, this is also where you would go ahead and add your Instagram account, as well as your Facebook page or whatever it might be. Once you've set this up here, in order for you to get access in Creator Studio, and facebook.com/Creator Studio is where you can go ahead and schedule your content for both Facebook and for Instagram for free. Then you might have to go back into Facebook Creator Studio and just make sure your Instagram account is connected to Creator Studio. So there's just one extra step there to make sure you can share your content. It does become really complicated. So the best thing for you to do is, before you start with your business, think about how you want to be structuring that account. The most obvious ways to structure your business manager account is just simply by setting up your ad accounts for each currency that you are working in different markets. So if you are an e-commerce business, for example, then you will probably want to make sure you have an ad account which is in dollars, in pounds, Australian dollars, rupees, whatever it might be. So just be mindful about that. But it would all be under the same business manager account, and then you would just create sub ad accounts underneath that. So that's the first thing, pretty big thing to think about when it comes to creating your Facebook Business Manager account. Now, the other thing I wanted to run through is very important also, which is your pixel. So on Facebook, as you may know, Facebook have a great tracking mechanism in place on your website. It's just a bit of a pixel is basically a bit of code which is put in on your website. You've got 3 ways to add this tracking pixel to your website. But before I go into what those 3 ways are, just a reminder of what the pixel will do. So the pixel will track, it's basically like cookies if you think about it. It will track your customers as they land on your website and they take certain actions. So eventually what you'll be able to do is create a very robust way of retargeting your customers who have maybe abandoned cart and haven't followed through. And also eventually you'll be able to create lookalike audiences as well. So if you wanted to find new customers, you'd be able to use your tracking pixel to see the types of people who are landing on your website and then create a lookalike audience from there. So the 3 ways in which you can create a pixel is, number 1, just simply take the code and add it to your website in the header. Or the second way is to send it through to your developer. It literally just lets you put an email address in and then you ping it through to them and they can go ahead and set that up for you. And then the third way is by using a plugin. So if you've got like a WordPress website or whatever it might be, Shopify, etc., you can simply click on that. This is all pre-built into Facebook anyway. So once you've gone into Business Manager and you go into the top left hand corner where you have your settings, you'll see there's a function to kind of select your events, and that's where you will go in and create your pixel. Now that's probably the main kind of pixel that you will need for your website. The other elements to think about when it comes to the Facebook pixel is the events tracking. So this can be anything from adding to your cart, viewing a piece of content, contacting you, clicking on contact details, downloading something and seeing a thank you page or whatever it might be. Now Facebook have launched a fantastic new tool which will make it even more easier for you to go ahead and implement your pixel. All you have to do is, once you have added your pixel to your website, you can go in and set up events. It will give you a prompt anyway to say, do you want to go ahead and do this? And then you have to copy and paste the URL of your website, hit next. It will open up your website in another tab, and then you can follow the journey and basically highlight any buttons and click on the little pop-up that you have on the screen, and then select how you want to be measuring that activity. Once that's done, your pixel is set up on the website. But you can't forget about it. Another thing I would recommend is getting the Pixel Helper Chrome extension put into your browser. So that means every time you land on your website, you can check to see if things are firing at the right time and if you have any issues. A lot of people set up the pixel and then they forget about it, which I would recommend that you don't do. The reason being, if there's any website updates, for example, it might disconnect. And if it stops working when it comes to your advertising, if you haven't got your pixel set up correctly in the first place, then it will just mean that your ads won't perform very well, because obviously it's lost that tracking somewhere along the way. So I would say maybe go in and check in, keep the Pixel Helper there in your browser extension anyway, so that whenever you go into your website you can just do a quick check to see if it's working. But otherwise I would say, every couple of weeks before you're starting a campaign, for example, just go in, double check, make sure the right pixels are set up, they're all firing in the right place, and you're good to go. And that's it for this video. I've taken you through some mistakes to avoid when it comes to setting yourself up on Business Manager. So remember, think about the structure. How do you want to have yourself set up on Business Manager? Get that set up correctly. If the client needs to create the account, make sure they do. If you are the client, if you're the company that owns the account, make sure you are the one that creates the Business Manager account, and then you give access to your agency or the freelancers that are working with you. Then also make sure you have the pixels in place and set up correctly, and also do make sure you set up your events so that you've got everything in place. Just a side note, when it comes to your events, you don't need to set up every single event that Facebook have got available to you. Even if you only track 3 or 4, just focus on your objectives, your business objectives, and the main kind of pieces of activity that you want to be tracking. And that's it for now. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, then please do leave me a comment below. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I shall see you next time.